Well, as you can see, we got a lot of things on the table, and we're seated. I got a comment from somebody saying that the sound of the grinder is distracting and annoying. So, because I'm always trying to do better, and I thought about it at length, I'm like, you know what, that can get distracting. I have, since this is a hand grinder and it takes forever, pre-ground my coffee, preheated my water. Fortunately enough, this has a heat hold button, so this will hold the 200 degrees that I'm looking for. And so I'm going to be staying there. And we're going to get through this maybe a little bit quicker today. But today, I want to talk about something that I've recently dealt with more and more as I've played more video games. And I've read about it in the Discord, which if you're interested in any of these recipes, I have the specific Rwanda that we're still brewing today, this Rwanda. That recipe is dialed. Today we're actually going to be adding milk and sugar to see if the Rwanda can handle it, if the body of the Rwanda is actually robust enough to handle milk and sugar. I have a set amount of milk and a set amount of sugar to make that happen. That is 8 grams or 1 tablespoon of sugar, and this is, I believe, 75 grams of milk. And so the reason why I do grams is because that is hyper specific and measured. I'm tired again today. I feel like that's just going to be a continuous thing with me. And that's primarily because I have 2 kids and currently one of our pets is sick. So that's been kind of a thing. You might be hearing screaming in the background, and that's my baby boy who is pissed about something. But my wife is here to help, and so she's doing that. Gaming fatigue. It is something that I have felt. I don't know if you felt it before. Essentially what happens is you go to boot up one of your 3 systems, in my case, and you sit there and you cycle through one of 3 things. Your downloaded games, games on sale, or a subscription service that allows you to download games. And it is the dissatisfaction with what you currently have, the yearning for what you don't have, and the uncertainty of if you even want to play any of them at all. I know for me, once I started to make content around video games, I found myself longing to play them less and less. Even games that I look forward to. Games like one of the games that brought me back was Final Fantasy 16. And if I can just say, Final Fantasy 16 to me is my favorite game. It is made itself to the top of that list. But I don't think it is the greatest game ever created. Because I think that is a subjective decision. I think that there are games that can be considered greatest games. But I don't think that Final Fantasy 16 is one of the greatest games ever created. But what it did for me was reminded me of, why I play video games, and it's to experience something that I otherwise wouldn't experience by another medium. And Final Fantasy 16 had such an amazing story, and the mechanics were just good enough for me, and the playstyle was great, and it was nostalgic at times because of the way that it played. And it just reminded me that this is an interactive medium. This is something that you do. And I think because of reviewers, myself being one of them, and games coming out and marketing, all this stuff, I have found myself, and some people on Discord have found themselves as well, having these investments in these extremely expensive hobbies, gaming or PC building or whatever it may be, and then not wanting to touch it because of this fatigue that exists, which I think is remediable. And so I want to talk about how I have remedied my gamer fatigue, and how if you're experiencing the same thing, I think you could remedy it too. The first thing to do is to completely disregard marketing. Don't look to marketing to help you decide what you should play. Because what happens is, if you look to marketing, I'm going to use Modern Warfare 3, for example. If you look to marketing, if you look to how YouTubers are reacting to it, if you're looking to how everyone is, talking about it, you might be discouraged from either A, purchasing it, or B, your purchase may be completely discredited, or you might start to actually second guess yourself whether or not this was a good purchase because of how people are talking about it. First thing I do is pour off a little bit. I'm going to taste this in this big cup so it can cool down even quicker, I mean. Okay. Yeah, okay, so that's exactly that was the right. Okay, so now we're going to mix in all of our ingredients. This is 8 grams of coconut palm sugar. I use that because that is better digested in the human body, and it resembles that of brown sugar. So it is something that's a little bit more full-bodied rather than just sugar that's really bright. And then my milk. This is not warmed milk, but cooled milk because I don't have a steamer, and I will not use a microwave to warm my milk because I find that to be gross. And so we have combined our milk and our sugar. And we can now figure out whether or not this tastes good with milk and sugar, or if we've completely drowned out the flavor completely and we just have hot milk and sugar. Here we go. Let's figure it out. It already smells pretty good. I got myself a beard hair in here. Let's get rid of that. Come on, beard hair. Okay, here we go. Okay. That's delicious. I like that. No, that's good. I was going to say I might increase the gram of the... No, that's great. That's great. That's perfect as is. Okay. So also, if you've noticed, the tree's gone because it doesn't deserve to be in videos, and I've put it over here. Stupid tree. Yeah, that's right, dude. You're out, bro. So, first thing that we talked about is marketing. Get rid of the marketing thing, because if you look to someone else to tell you how the game plays, or not how the game plays, but if the game is good, then you're going to find yourself in a position where you will not... You won't have the opinion for yourself, or it'll be heavily influenced, and so you'll just be second guessing, or you'll be searching. This is the biggest problem. You'll be searching for the reason why they said what they said, whether they said it was good and you should buy it, or whether they said that it was bad and it was a waste of money and a shame. You'll be searching for the very thing that they said to validate their statement. Even if you would disagree with it, you'll still be thrown off. And enough of this happening will end up putting you in a position where you're so fatigued from searching for the very things that people are talking negatively about the game itself, that the game itself ceases to exist. This is wildly philosophical and can be applied to so many different things. But let me break it down a little bit more. I started to play multiple games over these past couple of years. I could list a bunch of them. And the problem that I ended up having was a secondary problem, which I'll get to. But the problem that I ended up having is games like, for instance, I want to play Modern Warfare 3 because I am realizing as I'm getting older that I actually do like Call of Duty. There, I said it. I do like first-person shooters. Where I didn't think I did before, I do indeed like first-person shooters, and I'm having fun playing Call of Duty right now. And so I want to play Modern Warfare 3. My goal is to play 1 and 2 before 3. And I'm seeing people online talk mad trash on it because the campaign's short, feels like DLC, whatever it may be. And I feel like there is a narrative that exists within the gaming community, which is if it is being talked negatively about, you should maintain that narrative, or else you're not going to be a part of the views. And I know personally, up until I decided to make these videos, which are like, these break every rule. They're long, they're unedited, there's no jump cuts. I'm doing something that is seemingly uninteresting. I'm making a cup of coffee. And I don't give you a hook, a punchline, all that stuff. Really, this is just me going, I am sick of gaming content. I personally have grown tired of the, hey, check this out. Hey, look at this. Hey, you should buy this. Hey, screaming, yelling, all the jump cuts, all of the grabbing your attention and using psychology. I'm sick of it. It feels so fake. And when I originally started doing this, I wanted to share my excitement. And I realized that my excitement is can be heavily marketed if I properly apply my intonation and awe in a specific subject. If I speak quicker and edit out my thoughtful pauses that I use because vocabulary hasn't always been something that I excelled in. And so being careful to choose the proper words to use and not liking sentences that I have used before and then reusing different ones and then cutting the ones I want, though I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that, is something that I had grown very tired of. And this has allowed me to share myself with you. And by myself, I mean my gaming interested self. There's a lot of personal things about myself that I don't think are necessary for the internet. And there are windows into my everyday life that simply won't be seen by you because those are private things. I think using vulnerability for the sake of views is unfortunate, but using vulnerability for the sake of transparency is very, very beneficial, especially in a world that seems like it's just wildly inauthentic. That was a tangent. And by all YouTube rules, plenty of people left by now. Purchasing games. Marketing is really, really good at convincing you that this game you want to buy. And so you end up getting a backlog. I know I have a tremendously large backlog of games that you want to play. I want to play Jedi Survivor. I want to play, I want to play, what was another one? Hogwarts Legacy. Games I enjoyed when I started them, but marketing said that this game is the next one. And this isn't new. This is very, very common. But I think that where we're starting to run into a somewhat, not newer, but like consistent issue across plenty of gaming enthusiasts. I'm trying to get this stupid hair out. I can't find it. It's mocking me. It's mocking me. Every time I go in to grab this gosh darn hair, it's mocking me. Okay, let's see. How can I do this? I don't even know if this is a hair. This might just be a bug in the mug from the fact that this mug, I got it. I'm not certain what that was. I know that for me, purchasing games is definitely because I am like, oh, I should have that. I should own that. I mean, I have games that are still in wrappers up here. I started Metroid Prime to see if I liked it, and it was cool, but I'm not going to finish it. It's just not interesting to me, but I purchased it because I got to have it. And as time is going on, barring being a collector, right, because that is a different type of game purchaser, I think that maybe we should take a second. This is not going to be advertiser friendly because I am encouraging people not to buy games. I'm encouraging people to decide to finish one before moving on to the next. To not be a part of a conversation that seems like it's time sensitive when in reality, the very time sensitive conversation you want to be a part of, you can't be a part of because you're not someone who is going to be listened to. I feel like I'm speaking to myself. I have to get Modern Warfare 3 so that I can make content about it. But who'd watch it? I have to. Mind you, I probably am going to stream it tonight. Mind you, I have to get Super Mario RPG remake because I need to be a part of the conversation. I have to be first to it. But who's going to talk with me about it? I've had more meaningful conversations about games that are 5, 6, 10 years old. I had some of the best conversations with people that I didn't even know were huge fans of games and franchises that have been out for decades. And I think that's because the real passion that exists, which is gaming, is one that has been around since the 80s. Some would go, it's even further back, but I would say that Nintendo and the introduction of the Nintendo Entertainment System, as well as the then innovations with PlayStation and eventually Xbox, was really the boom that it was starting this whole video game thing. And also, that's what I know, so I'm going to stick to that. I think that the passion for that specific gaming hobby is one that has, as of late, because of how much news, and I can't believe I'm saying this in regards to video games, because video games, in the grand scheme of things, with the exception of the economic impact it makes with the financials, right? Because there's money, billions of dollars being thrown around all the time by Microsoft, throwing their weight around. Aside from the fact that it does have economic impact, because that's a lot of money, those are real numbers, it is inconsequential. It's a game. It's a hobby that grants people relief at times, entertainment, certainly. And in some, it could increase hand-eye coordination, but it's not revolutionary when it comes to the way that it can increase those cognitive functions. Other activities can do the very same thing. And you couple it with cardiovascular, you can actually kill a few birds with a couple stones. That being said, video games I find to be extremely important. But as time has gone on, and as YouTube, I truly believe, has grabbed a hold, and gaming as a subject has become very, very marketable. I say that because I've done so much research. My whole channel has been dedicated to researching, of which I do none now. I spend my days enjoying my hobby, and I spend my mornings telling you about that. It's a beautiful marriage of the two. And I have since released any weight that is going to be carried from myself. The burden is gone. It's gone. Financially, not the wisest decision when it came to how I was going about this, but I am playing the long game. I truly believe that this style of conversation holds value, far more value than me taking a piece of hardware and telling you about why spending $39.99 is worth it for one of the best D-pads in the business, and how the buttons on top can be used and utilized through other games, and you don't just have to use this with Nintendo, the Super Nintendo emulator on Nintendo Online, but you can actually use this with other games, and that Super Mario Wonder is a joy to play with. Okay. I don't think that's my place. And since I've done that, I've felt the urge to turn on my gaming systems and sit to enjoy a game. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I've released myself from the pressure that exists of critiquing. And when it comes to gamer fatigue, I think that while marketing has a huge play and role in it, especially when it comes to influencer marketing, which has given me an opportunity to make an income. The most I've ever made in a month is $900 from YouTube, by the way, and that was last year. Just so you know, $900 a month. Oh, sorry, in a month. My average take home, and I'm willing to spend to talk about it. My average take home is about $400 for at least 2 videos a week and 1 live a week, and shorts and all that stuff. That's my average. This is not a lucrative thing for me at all. These conversations, that's why I'm doing them, because I like it, not because I make money from it. But getting back to playing video games has been my goal. And I have this is the 7th cup of coffee that we've shared together, cup 7. And this beautiful Cup 7 today, I'm excited because I am going to. Now it will, I don't know if it's going to be live or not. I don't know. I can't make any promises based on my wife is a little bit under the weather, my kids and all this stuff. If I can pull it off, I plan on it. If I can't, I'm still going to play it. I am planning on one-shotting Modern Warfare 3. I was going to try to do 1 and 2 first. I mentioned that, but who cares? I'm going to try to one-shot Modern Warfare 3. Because it's only a few hours long. And I'm not going to look at that it's only a few hours long. It sucks. I'm going to look at it, it's only a few hours long, so it's condensed and it's enough for me to enjoy. And so when it comes to gamer fatigue, the marketing is the big the number one problem, I believe. The second problem is the feeling of not enough. I don't have the right game. I don't have enough. This is on sale. I have to buy it. This is something I've been tracking for the past year, so I can definitively say this statement. A game that you find on sale now that's an exclusive deal that you find to be extremely, extremely worth it, it's going to happen again. It will. I have made videos about sales for Nintendo so that you could go and purchase those games on sale and save money, providing affiliate links and getting $1 or $2 from those purchases in hopes that I could make an income. I have no need or want to even approach that anymore because I don't want you to feel obligated to spend the $40 to $60 on a video game because you think it's a good deal. When let's think about it for a second. Let's say Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, a $70, one of the only, I think it is the only $70 game that Nintendo offers, goes on sale for $50. Can you believe it? $49.99 instead of $69.99? What a steal. In my beautiful state of California, that $20 can purchase you 2 pounds of 85.15 organic ground beef and an onion, some pasta sauce, and a bag of pasta. $20 for a dinner. You saved yourself a dinner. Now let's talk about it in realms of longevity. Let's say that game is about 60 hours worth of content. Let's say on average you play 1 hour a night. Let's say that 1 hour a night you potentially purchase dinner or you make dinner 1 hour a night. Well, that one meal you made could probably last you 3 or 4 days. So let's just say for the sake of easy peasy, that one meal lasts you 3 days. You're able to have that with you and someone else for 3 days. 2 pounds of meat, 3 days. Maybe it's 4. Let's do 5. 5 days. 5 days for one person. 5 days for that one meal. You're probably gonna need more pasta, but I don't know where I'm going. I know where I'm going with this. I didn't think this through. I don't think any of these through. This is actually, all of these talks are just off the top of my head. So 60 hours of gameplay, 1 hour a night, every night, 60 days. 60 divided by 5 is 12. That's $240 of dinners. You saved $20 because you had to have it now, when really you're going to end up spending, a certain amount of money. I think that this example has fallen apart as I more think about it. What I'm trying to say is that unless a game like Borderlands, which is always on sale, $109 for an Ultimate Edition, but you can get it for $10, unless you're saving a significant amount of money, going and purchasing a game because you have to get it and it's on $10 to $15 off is tricking you. I understand people are on shoestring budgets, but if you're on a shoestring budget, the difference between $45 and $60 should never be used. You should never consider purchasing a video game if those differences exist. If you're on a shoestring budget, you should probably not purchase video games right now. You should probably invest in getting your savings up a little bit and taking it easy. Now, if you're in a position where you're like, I need a new game, I want to buy it on sale, I'm going to wait, that's a different conversation. But you're 6 games deep. You see that Tears of the Kingdom is $20 off. I got to get it right now. You're not going to play it. You're going to go through, another 3, 4, 5 weeks, or you're going to purchase it, play. This is, I think this is where I'm going to drive it home. This is the nail in the gaming coffin, is when you decide that you're going to purchase a game every week because it's on sale and you peruse the store. I am speaking to myself here, chat. You guys aren't chat. See what happens when you're conditioned as a YouTuber? I do the wipe so quick because I get so much coffee in my mustache. You purchase games over and over and over again. You end up getting to a point where you're going to start a game, play it for a couple hours, not pick it up, and then you want to go back to it, but you know you have to start it again because you have completely forgotten where you were at. And therefore, you don't want to start it again because the idea of doing what you've already done seems wildly tiresome, and therefore that $60, $70 game that you've purchased, 3 or 4 of them, maybe 5, will sit on your shelf forever wanting to be played, but you won't play it because you don't want to start it over. And then psychologically, it builds up this disdain towards the very hobby that you want to love because you're like, well, I have too much to play and I don't want to play any of it because there's just so much work, when this very hobby that we choose to participate in is supposed to relieve us of that exact feeling. The feeling of, I just spat out a chia seed, the feeling of overwhelming work. We're supposed to be able to boot up a system and take these worries that exist in our lives, these insane things that are happening worldwide, and for a brief moment in time, put those on our desk, on our coffee table, pick up a controller, and be transported into wherever it may be. Hylia. I forgot the name of where Final Fantasy 16 is. Hylia is just imprinted on me forever. That's what this hobby is supposed to be. So I urge you, friends, I urge you, anyone who's watching this, if you are experiencing gamer fatigue, if you're experiencing the very, very nail in the coffin, which is gamer fatigue, I encourage you to take a step back. And the practical application I would have for you is, I would say, first, pick 3 games. 3 games that you want to play in your library. Go, okay, I want to play these 3 games. Maybe it's a game that's coming out, whatever it may be. Pick those 3 games. Now, line them up. Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Odyssey, Kirby, Return to Dreamland. Pick these 3 games. Go, man, which one do I want to play? I want to play all 3 of these really bad. You take the one that you know is going to have the lowest barrier of entry. Kirby, Return to Dreamland. Then you go, okay, what's the next one? Tears of the Kingdom is going to go last. Super Mario Odyssey. I'm going to play these games in this order. Or maybe, and this is just practical, I'm just trying to get you excited again, friends. Maybe you go, I'm going to play this game because I know it's going to be low barrier of entry and I really want to enjoy it. Which, by the way, Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe is a remake. I think out of all the Kirby games I've played on the Switch, this is my favorite one. It's so much fun. There's a lot of content, too, to be played. You go, I can simultaneously play both of these. So I'm going to play these 2. And only play these 2 games until they're complete. And then once you've done that, get excited for the fact that you've completed one and you can reflect on it. And then move on to the next one. I don't know why video games has been taken away from what a lot of other things are, but video games, I guess they're interactive, but so are books. I know that I personally am currently reading through Dragon Ball. I'm enjoying every freaking panel of it. But I have another series, Subtle Flex, that I want to start going through, and I will not read and start One Piece. I was going to try to do both at the same time, but I'm not going to. I will not start One Piece until I have finished both Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I didn't need to get it when I got it, but I did. The point I'm trying to make is, maybe we go back to the way things were. Because maybe there was something pretty special, where we weren't playing 1,700 games at once, but instead, we were playing one with our friends and then moving to the next. If that's something that's interesting to you, join our Discord. If you really want to get along with these games of the month type of thing, I am going to be really heavily leaning into come December, but most importantly, January, the first of the year, it's going to be fully fleshed out. Something called Caffeine and Consoles Gamer Talk, Gamer Week, Game of the Week, Game of the Month, whatever it's going to be. I have no name for it yet. It was originally an idea that I had where we assign a game each month and we play it together, and I still want to do it that way, and it will be that way. It will not be done on this platform. That whole thing, that whole situation will be done off-platform on Patreon, because I want it to be independent from this platform, because this platform is simply a place where we discuss and play, and then I'll stream from time to time for us to talk, but I want the community to have its own place. And so that's going to be its own situation. I am excited for what this adventure holds. 7 days, 7 cups of coffee every day. How exciting. I'm excited to share with you an 8th cup of coffee tomorrow. If you want this recipe, it's in the Discord. If you want friends to talk about video games with, we have a beautiful Discord. If you have been enjoying these, hit the like button. If you haven't been enjoying these and you don't want to watch these, then make sure you tell YouTube that you're not interested so you don't get shown these anymore, because I'd hate for you to waste your time watching these long-winded conversations. And there was one more thing I wanted to say about any of this, and I have forgotten because I just have. Yeah, I've forgotten. So I guess I can sign off by saying happy gaming.